Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Morning Tea. Okay, so today's tea is Gypsy Rose tea. I think it's called Gypsy Rose. Gypsy Rose tea. It's a black tea. It's a blend. I got it from this lady at a farmer's market and I'm really liking it. How have you guys been? It's been a long time since I've done a morning tea. To jump right into what is happening, first thing, let's talk about the Duggars. Is that how you say their name? I never watched their show. You know the show 19 Kids and Counting or whatever? The Duggars, Duggar. So it came out that the oldest of their 19 kids molested somebody when he was 17 years old. Right before the show started filming, it seems. Let's see. It says 12 years ago when, as a teenager, I acted inexcusably for which I am extremely sorry and deeply regret. I hurt others, including my family and close friends. I confessed this to my parents, who took several steps to help me address the situation. We spoke with authorities where I confessed my wrongdoings, and my parents arranged for me and those affected by my activities to receive counseling. So I guess they went to the police when it first happened, and now this story is just coming out. I mean, I don't have any sort of, I don't know if you guys know them. I don't know them. I don't even know why I'm talking about them. I guess I just have like opinions about them having 19 kids. I'm glad that they're able to afford their 19 kids and the dad was able to figure it out to where he could support that entire family, and I'm not equating any of his actions to the fact that he has 18 siblings younger than him. On a side note, I think 19 kids is irresponsible. And not necessarily for them financially, but emotionally for those kids. But I guess if you don't know any other way, then that's fine. If you keep your kids isolated, then that's, fine. And up to you, and free country, right? But I have freedom of speech, so just kind of throw that in. So in Syria, you guys know that Syria is like the battleground, not for ISIS necessarily, but Syria is one of those countries that is occupied by members of ISIS. They're having their own internal struggle. And because of that, ISIS was able to be like a disease or a weed that infiltrated and sprouted in the middle of the unrest. And there's not clean water. There's disease that's rampant. Like Syria is doing really bad, you guys. And it sucks for the people there who just want to live, not everyone there is like running around trying to fight and bomb. There are people who just want to live their lives. They're having a civil war, and then ISIS shows up and like uses that, and it's just so much. And apparently the age range or the life expectancy has dropped 20 years within the last 5 years in Syria. People are dying at that rapid of a rate. Apparently also what's happening is there are metal drums, like barrels, that are filled with explosives that go off and kill people. And it's like having a 7.9 Richter scale earthquake 50 times a day. Like that's how crazy and explosive those explosives are. Ugh, I just feel so bad. I feel so bad for the people who just want to live their lives, who want nothing to do with whatever fighting is happening. Okay, so something that happened that went viral, a video that happened on Facebook. I don't know how long ago it was, but I saw it. When did I see it? I saw it 2 days ago on Facebook. This mother put up a video shaming her daughter on Facebook because apparently her daughter has a Facebook account. Maybe she has two. I'm not sure. But her mom stumbled across or was shown one Facebook account where her daughter is claiming to be 19 years old and she has racy photos of herself in underwear. And so the mother is like, I'm going to put this on your Facebook page and see all these grown men who are telling you you're sexy, and we're going to upload it to your Facebook page. But first, she's like shaming her, like, say that you're only 13 years old. The girl's crying and she's like, I'm only 13. Like, say that you're 13 years old. Say that you can barely wipe your own butt. Say that like making her say all this stuff. And the girl's crying and like still being defiant, but like understandably upset. Now, there are those of you who may applaud this mother and be like, she did the right thing. Now, I think that I'm never down for shaming. It didn't work for me And I don't understand it in general. I don't understand how parents like want to shame their kids into behavior. Like, it's one thing to put up a photo of a kid holding a sign saying, you know, I bullied a kid on the internet. I think it depends on like what is happening. And in this child's instance, I don't know that shaming her is going to correct the behavior. I mean, I don't know really in any instance that shaming is going to work. Sometimes I think it does work, but like in this instance, I'm not sure that that it's going to work. Because the girl was still defiant in her shaming. Like, she didn't seem all that like really understanding of what she was doing or what her actions implied. She is being raised in a world where Instagram is queen, right? And showing sexy pictures and racy pictures and getting likes is a big deal. Having a lot of friends or a lot of followers is a big deal. I didn't go through this, right? So I never went through a phase in my adolescence or teens or really even 20s where I was worried about being sexy or I wanted to be seen as sexy. I didn't go through that. I mean, I guess I was okay, but I never thought of myself as being pretty. And I never wanted to think of myself as being pretty. It was always so much more important to me to be smart and to be, because I always thought smart lasted and pretty faded, you know? I think that the mother needs to understand the world in which the daughter is living in, counsel her on it, but not blame her as though her daughter is doing something that's so outlandish and so sexually advanced. Like, this kid is just trying to do something that she sees her peers doing, and that is going to give her the validation. Validation, I think, is the right word. It's going to give her the validation that she desires and the attention that she desires from men. And I think that's what you need to address. I think that's what the mom needs to address. I think I would have more so liked to see a video of the mom talking to her, like, candidly and honestly about sexual attention and what that means and what that can bring on, and how she isn't at 13 prepared for that, and how at 13 it may seem like she should be doing things that her classmates are doing, or she should be involved in stuff like that, but like really she shouldn't, and that the longer that she holds out on getting involved with sex things, the better off she will be. I mean, honestly, like I feel like sometimes I just want to have an honest, candid conversation with like girls that are like 13. Like, I remember being 13 and having a friend who was having sex, who was like giving head and doing all these things in the 8th grade. And I remember being like, I wish boys liked me like that. The thing is though, is that that friend is not anything I would want to be right now. Like, she did that because that's how she knew to get attention. Right now, as an adult, she's nothing that I want. And she was so pretty and everybody wanted her when we were in the 8th grade and 9th grade. And now she's like completely 100% burnt out. She's happy. She claims to be happy, and that's great for her. But like, I wouldn't be happy with that. You know, it wasn't for me. I'm glad that I was an ugly duckling, or guys didn't like me in the 8th grade. I'm so glad that guys didn't like me in 9th grade, 10th. I'm so glad that I didn't have the affection of guys. A lot of affection of, I mean, I had some, but like, I'm so glad that it wasn't enough to make me crave it, because I don't crave it. And so to me, being sexy is something that I want to do for myself. It's something that I strive and I want for myself, not so that, you know, someone else can make me feel better or validated, you know? I mean, there's some of you who might think like, good for her, good for that mom. I do think her heart was in the right place and her, you know, spirit was in the right place by posting that video. But I do think, again, that shaming her daughter into behavior is not going to work. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like, sex is not all that. Like, there's some stuff that's like, oh, this is jamming, but like, it takes a long time to figure out what you like sexually. It's to the point where I'm celibate because I'm just like, I can't waste my time anymore. Like, I just can't waste my time anymore. And we glorify it like this. It's this, I mean, it can be this awesome, intimate, super great thing, but I'm one of those people who I think I have to have an emotional connection to the person or something, because I'm not one of those people that can just close my eyes and like have everything feel okay. Like I need to actively participate, and then like I need to have a partner who is okay with me actively participating and telling them what is, you know, like, I don't know, all the grown women out there who are single, who know what this is like it's so annoying. Like not necessarily keep your virginity, because I feel like that's something that's personal between you and your body and whatever you want to do, but like being a sexual object is not all that it's cracked up to be. Guys your age that are coming after you, and it's just going to be stupid sex. Like the sex is just going to be so stupid. Like it's not going to even be good. And you don't know it's not good until you have good sex. And then you're like, oh, I've been wasting this time with these idiots. So, I mean, that's just what I think. Because the daughter has more body than I do, and she's 13. So there are certain conversations that I think need to have been had. And I don't know if they had been had and the daughter just is like a sexual being. Like she could be a sexual being. I don't know the circumstances. If there had been a conversation about this, then perhaps the daughter wouldn't have done this. In Israel, so Israel is a Jewish state, right? It's a Jewish country. But not everybody in Israel is Jewish. So there are levels of Judaism, the same way there's levels of Christianity. And in their Orthodox, which is their most strict level of Judaism, men and women are separate. They go to temple separate, and husband and wives don't touch in public. Men and women don't touch in public. Husband and wives sleep in separate beds in the same room, but they sleep in separate beds, and they really don't have any physical contact, because based on their religion, marriage and such is more so about family and procreation. When it breaks down to it, it's about having children and setting up a family and loving each other and being supportive, but in a non-sexual way. And sex is only for having children. There are some good things about that, and there are some bad things about that. I think we're human, and I think some people, you know, people who are sexual beings in that community are denied their sexual freedom. The good thing about it is that it bases marriage on non-physical things. It's more about respect and camaraderie and love. And I mean, I'm sure it's not perfect in every single instance. I'm sure there are some people who are miserable, but that's just the way the Orthodox Jewish church works. President Netanyahu took a picture with his cabinet. His cabinet has 3 women in it. And the Orthodox magazines who put that picture on the front of their magazine, they edited out the women or blocked out the women's faces. And so the Western world is kind of up in arms about it. And I just don't think it's fair to be up in arms about that. Like, that is their religion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the way they choose to be. We can't all expect people and in other countries to have the same kind of feminist movement or ideas about women that we do. Now, I'm not saying, to me, that's not abusive. If it were abusive, then I could see the world being sort of up in arms about it. But like, if their whole thing is that they separate men and women, and that, you know, the men who look at this magazine don't need to be seeing women on the front of it who are not fully clothed. And when I say fully clothed, I mean their hair covered up and clothing down to their wrist and down to their ankle. That could be the reason why they blotted them out, because if they want a woman on the front of their magazine, the woman needs to be super modest, you know? So I just think it's really silly that the Western world judges these other countries for the way that the women are, for the way that they treat their women. And I hate to say it like that because it sounds like I'm judging it, but for the way that the women are in their society. Like, when the women decide that they don't want to be that anymore, they'll do their own uprising and they'll have their own movements, but it's not up to us to have movements for them, you know? Oh, okay. So there's this dude, Duran Wint. He allegedly killed an entire family in Washington, D.C. Apparently what happened is this dude goes to the CEO of his job, of his company that he works for or worked for, Ironworks. He goes to their house, somehow gets in, gets the CEO to get $40,000 delivered to the house while he's in there, I guess holding the family at gunpoint. And he holds them hostage, and he gets the $40,000. He orders pizza. The pizza is delivered and left on the porch, and I guess he later on eats it, and he leaves behind the crust, and his DNA is on the crust of the pizza. He kills everyone. He kills the CEO, he kills the wife, he kills the 10-year-old son, and he kills the housekeeper. He kills 4 people in that house, eats pizza from Domino's, orders it and eats it, and then takes off with the $40,000. My heart goes out to that family. I mean, it's such a senseless, ridiculous crime, but I feel like it's not for $40,000. For $40,000, I feel like there's way more going on. There must be way more going on. And if there isn't, this guy, I don't know, does it seem weird that I feel like the $40,000 is just a slap in the face? Like if he were some psycho or some like sociopath, like I'd be like, okay, like he's like, this is terrible. He needs to go away to jail forever, whatever. But like but for $40,000, I feel like they need to hang him in the town square. Like, no. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why the $40,000 bothers me. Because I feel like it just really bothers me. It just really bothers me. It's so disgusting. This crime is so disgusting. And then for $40,000, like I would just rather him be a psycho or something. But to be somebody who's, I mean, he obviously is a psycho. You don't just kill 4 people. But we don't know if he did it allegedly. He was in the house for sure. That's the thing. He was in the house. And he just got caught with 4 other people and $10,000 in cash. So as the story unfolds, I'm going to be following it. He killed that baby. He killed that 10-year-old boy, those 2 people, the housekeeper, and then he set the house on fire. I mean, this is so ridiculous. So that's all that I have for morning tea. Do you guys like my background? I'm going to do my videos in here now. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down in the comment section. Have a fantastic day. Bye.